What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here. Today we're going to be going over the early reveals for blue in this one. Once again, as stated in the previous video, all of the reveals have not been fully revealed yet. Right now, the social media for Fusion World is going through and doing all the alt arts for the SRs and the secret rares and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to talk about what these cards that they revealed are kind of doing and kind of surmise an idea of like how these decks might stand going into set 3 when they were released. So if you guys want to see more content like this, let me know down in the comments below. But let's get into this. So for the blue leader is the Super Saiyan 2 Goku from Otherworld. On the front side, he's doing nothing special. On the back side, though, he's doing some really interesting stuff. So he's 20k out. He's 20k power. When attacking, you draw 2 cards. Then place 1 card from your hand on top of its owner's deck. This is really good for blue. Blue, to me anyway, has always been categorized as like the massive like searcher deck. There's a lot of cards that you play that allow you to cycle through your deck, be able to pull stuff back from drop, being able to play stuff from the bottom of your deck. Like there's a lot of really like interesting like tech options when it comes to blue, and this effect does a lot in terms of helping to facilitate the hand that you want to see at all times. Being able to draw 2 and then taking a dead card that's in your hand and putting it on top or bottom depending on if you might need it later or not is great. It's great tech, and it's something that I think blue desperately needed to kind of balance out the search capabilities that it kind of and like it pulls from like drop and stuff. It's to help facilitate all of that, and I think it's cool that we got a leader for blue that kind of does that for us now. But that's not all he does. So on activate battle, opponent's turn once per turn, you switch one card in your battle area to rest mode. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, this card gets 10,000 power for the battle. And you'll see why. Blue got its first extra card, or its first field card. And notice how it says 1 card in your battle area and not battle card. That's going to come important later, and we'll talk about it. But this leader is actually really good. I think this ability, being able to give yourself a 10k combo during a battle, bump yourself up to 30, it's going to go a long way in terms of keeping your life pool high and just survivability as a whole. So I think this is really good. I think he's a really cool leader. That said, I'm not entirely sold on the archetype that they decided to give this guy, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Then we'll go into the SRs. So the first SR that was revealed for us was the 4-drop Son Gohan Adolescence, 30k power, 0 combo. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 3 or less and play them at the bottom of their owner's deck. This card is awesome. It is a pseudo Sinister Sickle that can swing for 30,000. Now, you might be thinking it's not as good as Sinister because it only does 3 or less instead of 4 or less. And that's true. But if you can play on curve and play the 3-cost, this guy is like 100% meant to be run with the 3-cost Vegito. Because you play 3-cost Vegito on the turn before this guy to lower the cost of all of your opponent's battle cards on board, which will then set you up next turn to be able to play this guy and not only clear off 4-cost stuff, like 4-cost stuff, but treat it as a Sinister Sickle and then bottom deck it. And you're also swinging for 30,000. So the no combo kind of sucks, but for as strong as this effect actually is, in the way that you want to be able to be on curve, like this makes sense. 0 cost on this makes sense. That said, I don't know if I agree with the SR on this one. So this is a Videl, 2 cost, 20k power, 0 combo. When attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, add up to 1 non-Videl card with a cost of 3 or less and Earthling and its special traits from your drop to your hand. The effect is really good. Videl is basically a Pilaf 2.0. She's able to search every Earthling in the deck that has 3 or less in its cost, which is a lot of cards, mind you. It's a lot of cards. You can pull the Peel Off. You can pull most of the Earthling extra cards. You can pull all your 2 costs, your 3 costs. Everything that's basically been announced for the set you can kind of bring back into your hand. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with it having 0 combo power. If Peel Off is able to be a 1 cost that can cycle itself and have 10k power, then the restriction of this only going off when you're attacking, I feel like Videl should be given 5k power at least. Because the thing's going to be is that players are not going to probably want to keep this on board. They're probably going to swing into this because they don't want to constantly have cards coming back into their hand. So, I don't know. I think it is a good card too, though. I think this is a strong card, a strong option for blue. Especially if you're running the Earthling archetype. You can run this in any blue deck that plays Earthlings. Trunks will probably get a big buff with this card. Same with the Gohan that we talked about before. But yeah, no, this is a really good card. Both the SRs I think are really solid. And yeah, I couldn't be happier for blue getting this type of support. Next we got Mighty Mask. He's a 2 cost, 20k power, 10k combo with a permanent skill that this card's name is also treated as a Sun Goten or a Trunks Youth in all areas. I made a short about this card, and I may or may not be reaching when I said what I said in that short. This guy is basically just a search option for Gotenks. You basically filled it. You basically, if you're running the Gotenks engine, the 3 cost Gotenks, the 4 cost Gotenks, all of the 1 and 2 drop Trunkses and Gotens, and you're playing like Vegeta, this is just another search option for that. And I think that's great. I think it's good that you have that option. I said that this might pertain to like Evolve coming back into the game, and my main reason for thinking of that was due to the fact that Barrier is back in this game. So that means that other skills, I think, have the potential to actually be implemented into Fusion World, but the problem stems from the fact that it's probably not coming back. That was just a big reach. So if people thought that I was kind of reaching there, I probably was. But I mean, I was kind of going off of the way Masters kind of does things. You have a lot of cards that use the Evolve technique that like have like permanent skills like this, where this card is treated like such and such. So my thought was like maybe it'll come in. It's probably not, but I still think this is a good card to run with the Gotenks engine. And yeah, I mean 10k power, can't beat that. It's 20k, it's 2 cost. Can't really complain. Then we kind of get into the new archetype of the set. It's Satan City. Now, before I talk about some of these Satan City cards, I don't know how I feel about Satan City. I think if we're going with the Majin Buu arc type of, time period with some of these cards, I feel like maybe they should have done a cooler theme, like, I don't know, World Tournament, which would have been kind of cooler, and you would have some more interesting characters kind of thrown in there. But, I mean, Sharpener and, like, Eraser are, like, just interesting characters. I don't even think they really had much, like... I don't think they had much presence in Masters either, so... I don't know. I think Satan City is just a little underwhelming. Maybe they wanted to really capitalize on the fact that Blue has a lot of Earthling cards, and this was probably, like, the best way to incorporate Earthlings. I don't know. But, anyway, so Sharpener is a 1-cost, 5k power, 10k combo. Activate main once per turn, reveal the top card of your deck, and if this revealed card has Satan City and its special traits during this turn, the next time you use an extra card from your hand, reduce the cost by 0. I think this is fine. I think this is a fine ability, considering what the Goku leader is doing, where you're able to kind of cycle your hand and phase out stuff that's not going to help you or help you. But, I mean, we have searcher cards like this that already exist in Blue, so this isn't really doing anything crazy. If anything, I think it might be just a little bit more restrictive because you're looking for Satan City specifically. But, I mean, it's fine. Like I said, it's fine. The 10k combo is going to come in handy quite a bit. And you'll be able to play, like, the Satan City field card, you'll be able to play the field card for cheaper. So, I don't think it's a bad card, per se. Then, as stated before, we got Arasa. 1 cost, 5k power, 5k combo. On play, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 non-Eraser card with the cost of 4 or less, and Satan City and its special traits. Add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of its owner's deck in a random order. Basic Searcher. It's got your Satan City restriction, which is probably going to be a decent chunk of Satan City cards coming in next set. So it shouldn't be that big of an issue to pull cards that you want. As long as you're like heavily running a lot of Satan City stuff, like I don't think you're going to whiff as often as other searchers kind of lead you to do. But this is fine. I think she's fine. Then we get into the extra cards. We have Great Saiyaman. 1 cost. Activate main. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost less than or equal to the number of cards with Satan City in their special traits in your battle area, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. Now, this is what I would call a variable card. And what I mean by a variable card, and there's probably already a term for it. This is just how I refer to it as. A variable card to me is a card that is heavily dependent on the conditions that are present for you in that moment when you use it. I think that if you're able to build your board up wide decently enough, if you're able to keep 3-4 cards on board at one time, I think being able to bottom deck something for a cost of 1 is actually really good. But again, it also depends on your matchup. Red's able to get rid of a lot of stuff. Blue can bottom deck a lot of stuff. There's a lot more removal in this game than there was when it first came out. So the effect that this card kind of gives may feel pretty bad, like running this if you aren't able to keep your pieces. But if you are able to keep your pieces on board, then this card could actually have a lot of potential. It really is just going to have to depend on what other Satan City cards are going to be revealed here. Is there going to be like a Hercule that's a 3 cost that maybe has a little bit more staying power or something? I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think there's potential for this card. It's really just going to depend on what else comes out in the set. And then finally, we got Orange Star High School. This is the field card I was talking about. The cost of 1, so with Sharpener, you can play this for free, essentially. Activate main. You have to pay 2 energy. And you have to place this card in its owner's drop. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 4 or less. And Satan City in its special traits. Place the rest at the bottom of its owner's deck in a random order. Now, I had to think about this a little bit because first off, I just want to say, I don't like that you have to pay energy and you have to throw this card in the drop. I hate when field cards need to be removed in order for the effect to go off. 2, you're paying energy into it, so you have to build the deck around this card, and you have to play around this card to kind of build off how you do it. That being said, if you couple this card with the Goku leader, and you basically draw 2 cards, and you put a Gohan who's a dead card in hand onto the top of your deck, and you activate this card on the following turn, you can then pull. You can basically kind of like, you're basically like milling your hand out, right? And you can play some of the stuff like the 4-cost SR Gohan for 2 cheaper than you normally would. So I think there's potential with this card. There's just a couple of grievances that I have with it in terms of its cost and in terms of having to get rid of it. And then on top of that, like, this card is actually great for the Goku leader because you can just rest this card to get that extra 10,000 during battle. It's like this is the perfect card to use that ability on. Now that being said, like, there's means to bottom deck, there's removal. Again, I said in the previous video, but Pui Pui in yellow next set has the ability to remove this off board. So it's kind of difficult to say if this will have the staying power that you kind of want, but you know, it just is what it is. I guess they think this is going to be too strong. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for this breakdown, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. If you enjoyed yourself, please consider hitting that subscribe button and liking the video. We are currently pushing towards 200 subscribers by the end of the summer, at the end of August. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would help to support the channel. If you guys do like the video, comment down below what you guys think of Blue, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.